And welcome back. Welcome to Module 4. This is all about getting clients. And, I'm going to go through all the different ways that I know of to get clients, all the ones that I've used anyway. And, they're not really in any particular order except for you'll see sort of, you'll get some good ideas for some places to start. And I'll tell you some of the ones to start with to look for those very first clients. And then moving on from there, some more creative ways. You'll also find some more ways in our resources document where I recommend some different programs that have some very specific strategies that different social media managers and different marketing agencies like the one that I run have developed to get clients themselves. So there's really no like one way or right way to get clients. All of these things that you're looking for, that you're learning, are good ideas. And what you'll find is either there's some way of getting clients that you are particularly good at, or that you particularly enjoy, or that is easier for you because you have maybe skills in that area, or there's a group of people that you know already that you can some other resources like that you can tap into. So once again, you want to go through this, and you also want to go through the resources document, and you want to use these as guides for getting started. Now, oftentimes I will have students come to me when they start the training and say, I don't know how to get that. I still don't know how to get that first client, but I did watch the Getting Clients module. So as you're watching this here, you need to jot down the people or the connections or the businesses that you think of as I'm going through all of the different ways to get clients, and then really think about going through those methodically, one at a time, making the phone calls, sending the emails, reaching out to those people, or reaching out via social connection, which I'll talk about a little bit as well. Okay. And the thing is here, you'll have more success in actually getting clients the more people or the more types of clients that you reach out to. So if you're not actually reaching out to clients, if you don't have a goal for yourself every day of a certain number of clients to reach out to, or you're not working some sort of system, and you watch this video and you maybe write down a couple of names, and you maybe reach out to them, or maybe you don't follow up. That's the kind of thing that I'm talking about, where those are the people that end up showing up on a coaching call or something with me and saying, Kate, I'm having a hard time finding clients. On the other hand, I've heard some really great success stories of clients, of students bringing in 3 clients before they even finished the training. A social media manager that I know of brought in a total of around $15,000 worth of new client work within her first week as a social media manager. So, it really getting clients, and I'm saying all this up front kind of and at the beginning, getting clients is somewhat intimidating for a lot of people, but if you really just kind of boil it down and go through each of these step by step and make your list every day of the people that you're going to contact and follow up with, and keep working at it, eventually you will land a client, because I've seen a spectrum, and the sooner that you make this a practice of something that you do daily, the sooner you will see the success, okay? So don't put off this getting clients part, because for a lot of people, when you hear getting clients, you hear selling, and you hear sales, and you hear things, and some people don't they feel like that's not their strength, that's not something they're good at. But this is really, this is very easy ways to get them. There's a lot of low-hanging fruit here that we're going to talk about. So there really is no reason to be intimidated. And like I said, plenty of my students have had initial success up front. So it leads me to believe that you too can have that initial success right up front. It really has to do with your commitment to getting the result. Okay. So let's dive in without any more of my sermons here and talk about some different ways to get clients. Now, the first one, which seems like the most obvious and the most simple, is your personal network. So if you do have a piece of paper out right now, one of the things I would recommend is, as I go through here, write down either the names of the people that you can think of that match the criteria that I'm discussing, or if it gives you an idea for something that you want to do or implement, write that down as well. So when we're talking about your personal network, Gail Porter even just put out a book. It actually, my book just came in the mail the other day. Your network is your net worth. So you really always want to be building your network. And we talked about that a lot in Module 2, is always be developing relationships, always be meeting people, always be building your network. And she was the vice president of marketing at Virgin America. So I believe she knows a thing or two about how to, how to go places, or how to, climb the corporate ladder, or how to become somebody, right? Somebody important, as she's had a really interesting career working for many, many companies. And she attributes a lot of that success to her networking abilities. So when I'm talking about your personal network, there's a saying that it's not about what you know, but it's about who you know. Well, my opinion, it's not even about who you know, because more importantly for me, it's about who knows you. So for me, I know a lot of different people, but if they don't know me by my first name, don't know how to contact me, don't know what I do, then me being connected with them really doesn't mean anything. So rather than who you know, I like to say, especially this day in social media, I like to say it's about who knows you. So who influential do you know? Who is in a position where they might be able to make a decision about marketing, or who is in a position where they may be able to refer you to somebody that would be a good client? So who do you know that knows you, that could lead you to your first client? You don't really want to discount the friends and family plan either. And a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to do business with my friends and or family. Well, it may not be your friends or family specifically that you do business with, although you may have a sister-in-law that's doing some sort of, direct selling, or you may have a cousin or an aunt that owns a boutique clothing store downtown. So there may be a couple of opportunities there for you to get some first-time clients in your friends and family, but also in that friends and family network, you're going to find what you'll find are referrals, right? Who in your network, in your friends and family network, knows someone else that they could refer you to be that first client, because you got that first degree of separation. You have that trust already built up with your friends and family. They know you, they like you, they trust you. Well, I don't know, maybe not in everyone's family, but we're going to assume that. And then so when you're when you're going after new clients and you're a new business owner, like you are a new social media manager, you're looking for clients where that trust gap, the gap between not knowing you at all and fully trusting you to do business with you, is really short. And so beginning with your personal network should be a compilation of people that you already know. They're already in your personal network. So they already know you. Hopefully they like you. And then that means that the trust gap, trusting you to do their social media and to take on their business, is shorter than, doing something where you're meeting a client cold, right? A cold lead that you've never met before, you've never talked to before. And so first they have to get to know you, then they have to decide if they like you, and then they can decide if they trust you. The benefit of a referral is that it comes with an implied endorsement. So while the lead itself, right, that new potential client that you gets referred by your friends and family, could be a completely cold lead, as in it's somebody that you don't know at all, the fact that it came with a referral is an implied endorsement from the person that referred you, which means that person knows you and they endorse you, which tends to have the person who is referred give you a little bit more leniency in the know, like, and trust thing. So it does shorten, a referral does shorten that trust gap. I've experienced that often myself, and when I do a good job for my clients and they refer me, the clients that they refer to me are very quick to make a decision, because the referral came from a trusted source. So they already know, like, and trust the person that gave them that, that they already know, like, and trust the person that they already do business with, and now they're referring someone that person knows, likes, and trusts. I might be speaking in circles here, but I'm trying to say it a couple of different ways just so it fully communicates. So there's that implied trust factor there, okay? Who do you interact with on a daily basis? Do you go to the dry cleaning once a week? Do you drop your kids off at daycare? Is there a little store that you stop at? Is there a restaurant that you frequent? These are places, again, where you have some relationships that you could leverage to get those very first clients, because might be some relationships that you have already and you don't have to build these relationships up from scratch. And interestingly enough, while this may not seem like, this may not apply to everybody, I have seen some really great success stories of people turning their current employers into clients. So it might be something where you even try to work your way out of your position, where you go contract for even part-time, or you work part-time, and somehow, you're able to speak to someone and present a proposal to them that demonstrates that you could continue to, perform your current position, but while not being in the office, and instead bringing them on as a client that you could work from home and do that part of your job a certain number of hours a week, and then be on the lookout and be building your social media manager business at the same time. This works. I've seen it work even when the role that you're in is not necessarily marketing or not necessarily social media management. As long as it's something that you can do from home, and all you really need is a access to the the internet, obviously a computer and access to the internet, then you can move to become a contract or an independent contractor and take that work home. So that may still mean that a few hours a week you're not doing social media management, but the good news is you probably have some more flexibility this way. You are working from home, so you're getting the whole virtual lifestyle, and you found a way to transition out of your current job and begin to build your social media manager business. Especially for some of those of you that are more security minded, this might be a great option if this is an option that your employer, your current employer, if you do have a job, is interested in helping you execute. From there, I'm going to recommend that you go out and update and refresh all of your current social media profiles. So we talked a lot about this in Module 2. You want to make sure that your branding is consistent across all your social media profiles, that any email addresses or URLs to your website or your blog are the same across all your social media profiles, and that they're now pointing to your new social media manager business. You want to make sure that you're updating and participating in conversations on those social profiles, so that they're not sitting dormant or vacant, that they're active. And then you want to be on the lookout for places where you're connected in Facebook groups or LinkedIn groups, or if you participate in Twitter chats. We're just looking here for, where do I have, for most of you, I would say maybe even for 90% of you, you probably already have social media profiles set up. So you didn't just set up your profiles when you bought this training. You probably already had them set up, and now you're kind of converting them or optimizing them per the strategies that I taught you in Module 2. If that's the case, then you already have some social connections, and you can kind of browse through those and see who on these lists would be good people for me to reach out to. That, again, either they are a potential client or you believe they are a potential referral source, one of the two. And Facebook groups and LinkedIn groups both are great for that. Now, the one thing that I would recommend is that you know the difference between a peer group and a prospect group. So a lot of times people get bogged down hanging out in peer groups and peer groups instead of prospect groups. What I mean by that is there's places where we go to learn and network with our peers, and sometimes those groups can also be potential sources of clients, especially for those of us that do B2B. For instance, I participate pretty heavily in the Internet Marketing Super Friends group, and occasionally I have met some potential clients in there based on the answers to the questions that I put or that I post. However, that group exists mostly for me to network with my peers, maybe even more become positioned as an expert and get my questions answered and learn in that group. So that is more of an educational resource for me. Now, other groups that I would be considering more prospect groups would be some of the groups that I participate in that have to do more with my geographic location, and other places that have a more broad range of entrepreneurs or small business owners or anybody that's in your target market, right? That's the ideal client that you want to work with. And remember back when we talked about how to determine your ideal client back in Module 2, any groups that have that ideal client in where you're participating and you're the one bringing the value and you're the one bringing the knowledge about social media, that's more of a prospect group. So you want to be joining and engaging in some prospect groups and not just peer groups. Same thing goes for LinkedIn or any group really that you participate in at all. Now, you blog. You definitely want to use your blog to attract potential clients. And to use your blog to attract potential clients, the first thing that you want to do is optimize your website for search engine optimization. So the reason is because the whole point of blogging to get clients is so that when people are out searching Google for answers to business questions that they have, particularly their business questions related to marketing and social media, you want to make sure that your website is showing up when they're searching for that information. And the best way to do that is to write blog posts that have the answers and have some sort of call to action to contact you for more information or to contact you to get a strategy session or to contact you for a free consultation or something like that. So in order for them to show up, you need to be using the proper keywords and the proper search engine optimization. Now, I talk a little bit about this when I talk about setting up your website in Module 2, but I don't go very much in depth, and there's plenty of resources out there for you in order to learn more about search engine optimization. You can, watch some YouTube videos. I'm sure there's some great stuff on Google. And of course, don't forget, I always recommend my friend Ori's Make WordPress Easy course, where he talks a little bit more about what plugins to install and how to optimize your website for search engine optimization if you're using WordPress. But again, the objective here is to be found by your clients. So this is so that you're not out there having to look and dig up clients and trying to go out and find them. This is a pull type marketing where they're out there looking for a solution to a problem and they find you, okay? So the trick here is to write clear posts that outline your ideal client's biggest issue and then address how to solve them. And you don't have to go into super detail, but you want to make sure that your knowledge gets communicated, that you sound like an expert, and that you're able to let them understand that if they are looking for not a DIY solution, if they're looking for a more hands-on solution, that you are available to provide that. Don't forget, if you're like me and you're more of a talker than a writer, you can always record these things as YouTube videos. You could post them on YouTube. You could then embed them as a blog post. You could also send them out and have them transcribed and use the text from the transcription in your blog post. So you kind of have these solutions out there in two places that will help you, that will help increase your chances of being found. Now, definitely you want to set up Google Alerts, and you want to set up Google Alerts to monitor all the different sites on the web, which Google will do for you. And you're monitoring for mentions of words like social media manager, social media assistant, and some of the newer words like social media coordinator or social media content creator. Any job titles or any references to social media management, social media manager, you want to get Google Alerts for, because oftentimes there's job posts in there, or there's a link to someone's tweet where they might be saying that they're looking for a social media manager. So there's a lot of good blog posts and just information that come in, but there's also an opportunity to see what different skills people are looking for, what type of experience people are looking for, and potentially if you are that kind of person that would prefer to use this training to find an in-house position, then you will definitely get a lot of those types of results from this. But even for those of you that aren't looking for it, I oftentimes see Craigslist posts where they're looking to hire somebody freelance, and different opportunities that are freelance. However, it also is just really helpful to know what the current job descriptions are out there for different social media managers and what the skills are, because they help you hone the messaging that you use in your marketing when you're marketing yourself for clients. And definitely do this step if you're the kind of person that would rather have maybe that 9-to-5 in-house job. It's not a bad gig at all. You can generally make a decent living doing it, and it takes all the pressure of having to find your own clients and run your own business if that's just not the kind of person that you are. And there's no right or wrong way to be a social media manager. You guys get to choose what style works best for you. Now, some good ways to just market your business that will help you attract some new clients is to do a press release or have a launch party for your business. So this means this is like a fun, like a grand opening, so to speak. Even though you have a virtual business, you can still host a grand opening. Kicking off your business with an event. You could do this online or off. You could do this at a local restaurant or meetup space to have an offline event. You could host an online event like a telesummit or a webinar series to launch your business. And when you do this, what you want to do is you want to send out a press release announcing the launch of your new business, and hopefully that will get you some media exposure as well, and it will also help with what we talked about a little while back on the search engine optimization. But a press release or a launch party is a great, just kind of fun way to let people know that you've started a new business. Again, in that instance where you have some social profiles set up already, but maybe you've only been using them for personal purposes and now you're going to be using them for business and marketing purposes, then a press release, sending out a press release or doing a grand opening or launch party and promoting that or talking about that on your social media profiles will let people know that you've started a new business, and they can start referring people to you or starting to get to know you as the new business owner that you are. Now, I do surf job postings on sites like Craigslist, Odesk, Elance, Freelancer.com, Guru.com, Mashable Jobs, Indeed, Monster.com, Simply Hired. I'm sure there's plenty more. And again, these do kind of point to the, maybe probably about 60 to 70% of the postings that you're going to see on these sites are more for the in-house jobs. But you never know. You might apply for one anyway and just see if you get it. You might just find one that for some reason you hadn't been thinking about doing the 9-to-5 thing, but you might find one that just seems like it's irresistible. I've also, heard of people going in and making a proposal to apply for this job, but to have it be a freelance position, perhaps maybe even while they're just doing their job search, or just to get related with the people who do the hiring there. There's no reason to, let me just say it this way, there's no reason to not look or not know what's going on just because you feel like a majority of the postings there aren't necessarily ones that you would immediately take. At this point, when you're looking to get those very first clients, you want to keep your mind open. You want to keep all doors open. You want to keep all options open. And so you want to look in any place where you might have some success. So don't immediately discount these types of sites because you think, oh, well, those are only for more traditional positions. They're 9-to-5 and I'm not looking there. There may be some other positions there, particularly on the sites like Odesk, Elance, Freelancer, and Guru.com. You'll definitely find some freelance positions. Now, one thing I'd like to caution you on those sites, though, is that you are competing there sometimes against people overseas who can afford to post their service offerings at very, very low rates, like sometimes less than $5 an hour. So those are not the same types of jobs that you're competing for. And again, don't be discouraged and don't discount sites because you see postings like that. It just may take a little bit more looking to find the ones that are particularly relevant to you. But I think, again, bottom line is it's a great idea to always know what's going on in your market and your industry, and keeping your finger on the pulse of sites like these is definitely going to help you do that. Now, one of the things that you may not have considered, but that I highly recommend that you do in order to help you get clients, is to get published, okay? So what I mean by getting published isn't, I don't necessarily mean writing a book, which is probably the first thing you thought of when I said get published. What I actually mean by that is getting published in industry news, news publications. So think about your client and what do they read? What do they read to get their industry news or their marketing advice? These are places where you could submit to either be one of their online bloggers or, you know, if it's an offline print, one of their contributors, okay? Compete.com will give you some of this information if you know your ideal client and you know a site that they visit, or, you know, a place that they maybe get some sort of news, or some site that they frequent regularly. Then you can use compete.com information to find out other sites that they visit, and you can begin to build sort of a map of different places where you should be interacting and engaging, and then hopefully establishing yourself as an expert and becoming a contributor on those sites. So you can guest blog for those news outlets, like I said, or you could submit articles for them to print in their printed newsletters. You could do article writing for trade show publications. Use a site called HARO, which stands for Help a Reporter Out, or the Reporter Connection site to find media opportunities. These are places where a reporter is looking for someone to interview that is an expert in a particular subject for publication. And this tactic here especially, or this tactic here specifically, has led to a Fortune 100 client for me who saw me on the news and called me up a couple of days later and invited me in to do some consulting for them. So media opportunities are a great way to get new clients. And then you have sites like examiner.com and ezinearticles.com, and these are sites where you can sign up to be contributors on different topics, and you can submit articles for publication and syndication to these sites. And so I highly recommend that when you're trying to get your name out there, that you find cool places to submit your blog, your content that you're writing, and some of it can be repurposed from that blog and YouTube content that we discussed. Not all of it can, so for every site or every contributor agreement that you do, you need to look into the duplicate content regulations or rules, or, you know, whatever that they give you. But you do want to begin to write and contribute for some of these outside publications to begin to get your name out there and to begin to attract new clients. Now, another great thing that we talk about, and I have a long video on this on packaging and pricing your services, where I talk about when I'm talking about how to package and price your services, I talk a lot about in the white labeling video about how to partner up, and I'm talking in that video about how to package and price your services when you do white label. And what I mean by this is find other freelancers or find other marketing agencies that will subcontract out work to you. Or find other agencies like a search engine optimization agency, or an agency that specializes in web development or advertising or graphic design. And these places often sub out the social media management work for their clients or do what's called white labeling. So what I mean by that is, you know, these clients, somebody who has a search engine optimization firm has a client who has a website, who's obviously looking for online marketing help. And a lot of times, you know, search engine optimization, you know, there are some aspects of it that include social media. Actually, particularly with search engine optimization, increasingly so, social media is becoming more and more and more important. Well, people who have traditionally done SEO for years and years and years don't necessarily want to handle the increasing demand for the social media work that needs to be done in order to keep their clients happy, in order to keep their clients with good results. And so what they'll do is they'll hire a social media firm to partner with to handle that service. So what I mean by white label is, let's just say the search engine optimization firm doesn't want to handle social media, and let's say they hire me to handle it for them. Well, a lot of times they won't want their clients to know that, hey, we're not actually doing your social media. We've hired, Kate Buck of KBJ Online to do it. So they do what's called white label, which means they are still the liaison with the client, and they handle all the client communications and all of that. And I handle all the day-to-day maintenance of the social media accounts, but I don't really ever talk to the client directly, okay? Also, in partnering up, you might just get referrals. And in that case, somebody who, again, in that same instance, that has a search engine optimization firm may say to their client, okay, you guys really do need some help with your social media. It's not something that my firm specializes in, so I'm going to refer you over to my friend Kate Buck and of KBJ Online, and she can help you with your social media. So having a relationship like that is a great way to get clients as well. And I'm happy to partner with these different types of agencies in either way. Again, I go more into how to actually price your services if you get into one of these relationships in the pricing module in that white label video. But nonetheless, white labeling or referrals by partnering up with other agencies and other freelancers is a great way to get new clients. This has been one of the most lucrative ways that I've ever gotten new clients. It's one of the easiest ways, again, because it comes with that implied endorsement, and you have solid clients who already have budgets, who are already trying to figure out this online marketing space and how to optimize their business. Plus, you have a partner in whatever agency that you work with that is generally helping them in their other areas. So it's not just like social media is having to pull all the weight of online marketing. So by far, if you haven't gotten it already, by far this is one of my favorite ways to get new clients. And so if you did nothing else but reach out to other agencies in your area, invite whoever handles their client management out to lunch and get to know them, create a relationship there, and offer some different ways that you could partner up and help their clients, which would be mutually beneficial for you both, both from their client reputation standpoint and also financially. You can find a good arrangement there. This is absolutely my favorite way to get clients. This is a really great one. So if you're looking for some, again, the more creative and out-of-the-box ways, like something like the press release or the launch party, then you're really going to like this one too. And this is, where you can dig through some of the some older marketing, publications like the Yellow Pages, and there's other phone books, and there's other sort of print marketing newsletters and things that you can find in and around probably your local newspaper, city, stuff like that. And like, for instance, if you're going to use the Yellow Pages, dig through those Yellow Pages and see who is still spending money to buy advertising there. Again, this could be applicable in a maybe in the back of your school, your child's school, what are those things called? Pamphlet, or like a program for a school play or something where people are still paying for some advertising there, or church bulletin, a newspaper, the Yellow Pages. See who's still spending money to advertise in those places. Another really, really, really great place are the businesses that are still using sites like Groupon, Living Social, and the other coupon or deal sites. Amazon has a local deal site now, and those customers, the ones that are still spending money on print, and the ones that are investing in Groupon and Living Social and some of the other coupon or deal sites, what this means is they are spending money on marketing and advertising. And particularly with Groupon, Living Social, and the other coupon or deal sites, they're spending money in the digital space, so that means they're trying to appeal to an online market, okay? So all you need to do is, at that point, that they have a budget, and that they're trying to, do marketing, particularly those other ones that they're trying to figure out the online space. Just go find their fan pages. Go find their Facebook page. Go find their Twitter account, their Pinterest. Go find their website. And then what you might want to do is just send them a short, helpful video, or you may want to send them an email with introducing yourself, or again, if they're local, maybe you want to swing by. These are the types of businesses that you could reach out to and say, hey, I saw your deal on Groupon, and, I have some ideas for you about ways that you could, save even more money than what you're spending with Groupon, retain more of your customers, using some other online marketing techniques. Have you tried attracting customers through social media? Here's who I am. Here's what I do. And, you could make them a little short video using using something like the Jing application. That's Jing. It's a free little tool that helps you make a 5-minute video and send it via a single link on the internet. One way to approach these people is a method that is known as the cheese and whiskers method. And what that is about, and again, this method isn't for everybody, but if you find that it's for you and it works for you, then great, is reaching out and approaching that business and saying, hey, if I were able to send you 4 new, if it's a restaurant, 4 new meetup groups a month that would host their monthly luncheon at your place, who would I need to talk to set something like that up? And that is a strategy to get you through to the decision maker, okay? Because they'll say, oh, well, in that case, you probably need to talk to our manager, and that's Joe, and he's only here on Tuesday, right? Whereas if you just called and said, hey, I want to help you with your online marketing, you might get the runaround. You might get, I want to help you with your social media. It might be like, oh, well, I'm not really sure. Just let me take your name or whatever. But if you said, hey, I've got about 4 groups a month that I think I want to bring to your business. Who do I need to talk to set up and schedule and, work out the logistics of all of that? They are going to immediately put you through to a decision maker. And that would be the time where you could say, I do have, I believe I could reach 4 businesses a month, new ones that we could have them schedule their luncheons with you. And you could go on to do your pitch from there. So cheese and whiskers is kind of a great way to get your foot in the door. And again, it's not for everybody. Another great way, especially if you're starting out and you have a little bit of a budget, a great way to get some exposure for your new business and find some new clients are to use some paid advertising techniques. And pay-per-click advertising is a relatively inexpensive way to do that. You can use all different types of platforms to host your advertising. There's Google AdWords, which is a little bit complicated, especially if you're just kind of getting started out. If you know a little bit more about online marketing and you have some experience in some of the other disciplines, then maybe Google AdWords is something that you might be up for the challenge of tackling. But otherwise, Facebook ads and LinkedIn ads are great ways to get some exposure to your business. You might want to read up a little bit about them before you jump in, just so you can save some money and advertise the most efficient way, so you don't waste that budget. But advertising on the social platforms in which you are looking for clients is a great way, and a very inexpensive way, and a very efficient and effective way to gain some of those first few clients that you need to get through the door. This is more of a fun, creative way, and again, it goes back to if you have a little bit of a budget and you're willing to do and you're willing to spend it to get some of those first clients, which I actually recommend you do. Although we talk about in the course that of course I started with 0 budget, and that's definitely possible as well. But if you've got some budget and you're interested in reaching out to like local businesses or more of the brick and mortar type businesses, then you might want to consider using direct mail. There's lots of different ways to use direct mail, and if you don't know what that means, it just means actual physical postal mail that ends up in a mail box. And you might be thinking, well, we're hearing all these other types of traditional marketing are dying. Is direct mail dying? Well, the truth is that people are getting less and less mail in their postal box now that there's so much correspondence happening via email and electronic communications that you actually can make an impact again with direct mail. It's kind of coming back into style, if you want to say it that way, and becoming an effective way to market again. So one of the most inexpensive ways is to do a postcard, and there's a company called send out cards, where if you have a database of physical mailing addresses, which you can purchase from different vendors online, you can upload those addresses and you could create a 1- or 2-sided postcard to mail out through send out cards. There's other ways to do postcard mailings as well. You could send a letter, and with a letter or even with a coupon, you could include some kind of special discount code or offer for the people who have received that mail and who respond maybe even within a certain period of time, maybe within 24 hours or 48 hours or something like that, so that there is a compelling reason for them to respond to you quickly once they've gotten the mail. And then one of my favorites that you might want to try, again, if you're on the zany side and looking to have a little bit of fun with it, is lumpy mail. And lumpy mail is where you can send maybe like an envelope or a larger package of some kind to your prospective customers, to that database that you purchase online. But you might include something that is makes the package not flat, like a letter. So it might have some sort of little giveaway or some sort of little trinket or something in there that has something to do with what you're sending out. And that will grab the person's attention and make them want to open it because they want to see what's inside. It's not flat where they can flip through it just like the other bills and other mail that they might be getting. So lumpy mail is a great way to grab attention, do something a little bit creative. I've seen people do an envelope with a letter in it and dollar bills stapled to the letters. That has been super, super effective. So you want to, think again about, go back to the branding module that we had where you're looking at who is your ideal customer, what's the best way to reach them. If they are somebody who's less technologically savvy and so they're not online as much, they're not checking email all the time, they're not always on Facebook, then these might be, phone calling or direct mail or something might be a better way to approach these people. And when you decide to do that, you want to look at some effective ways to do that. And sending a direct mail piece is a great way for those people who aren't spending as much time online. So now we're getting into some of my absolute favorites, and this is the way I grew my business. I absolutely think it's the best way to grow your business. It's the quickest way, and it's by attending networking events. And there are all types of networking events. Remember, I talked about peer groups versus prospecting groups back when we talked about online groups like Facebook groups and LinkedIn groups. But you kind of have the same two genres when you're talking about offline networking groups, or places where you can meet up with people offline. And places to find out where cool events and things are happening is meetup.com, eventbrite.com, plancast.com, and I'm sure there's a host of others, but these are my 3 favorites. And you can search for different criteria on there. You can set up profiles. You can connect with other people. So you can connect with them first online, before you attend the meetup and meet up with them online. So if you're not attending local networking events, as well as maybe even traveling to educational events, seminars, or conferences that also have networking events to help build your network, then you're missing out. A face-to-face connection is something that you can't disqualify. Even if I meet somebody online and I'm connected with them for I don't know how long, the excitement and the enthusiasm and just the human connection that gets made when you do meet them face to face is irreplaceable, right? It's priceless. So you want to move those online connections offline, as well as when you attend these networking events and you do meet people offline. You want to then connect them with your online networking. And you've likely seen already and maybe not listened to it yet, but there is an MP3 from Ori and I on attending networking events. And also in your resources document, there is a link to an article I wrote on meeting people at offline networking events and what you need to do in advance before meeting them. So your networking recon before you attend these events, how to connect with people online, and make sure that when you do meet them at the event, the speakers and whoever, that they know you because you've met online. So it's very cyclical here, what we're talking about: meeting people offline, moving them to your online world, and then meeting people online and moving them to your offline world. So make sure that you have a focus on attending networking events. Now, if you want to take it one step further, you can sponsor these networking events. And becoming a sponsor may not necessarily mean giving money, but you could sponsor with an in-kind donation or exchange for promotion. You could offer, I've done some social media consulting for some different offline networking groups that I attend, and then my name is mentioned, or I get thank yous, or I'm listed as a sponsor. So becoming a sponsor, getting your name in front of all the people who attend, so that you're not just limited to the people who you can work the room and speak to, but you have some exposure to everyone who attends that networking event, is a great way to, again, get some more exposure and get those first few clients through the door. You know, a sponsor is generally regarded as a trustworthy person. To attendees who attend a single networking event over and over, they come to trust that networking event, and they feel like sponsors have been vetted, and that you have some sort of authority if you're sponsoring an event. So definitely a great and very fast way to get in front of some different markets. Now, back to that whole point of peer markets and prospect markets, you know, you want to be sponsoring places where you have prospects, not just peers. So it might be the Automotive Mechanics Association of Seattle, right? If you're looking to do social media for auto mechanics, the Plumbers Association of Omaha, right? If you're trying to get in front of plumbers and you want to do marketing for plumbers, those are the types of groups that you want to reach out to and be, you know, donuts are sponsored by, or, you know, today's coffee was sponsored by KBJ Online, a social media firm, and get a little thank you and a little shout out. You may even have the opportunity to drop off some brochures or business cards to leave at the event. So this is a great opportunity and a very inexpensive way. Usually, if you just have to, you know, buy donuts for 50 people, that might cost you $20-30. And now you've got, you know, 50 auto mechanics who have some exposure to your business. So sponsoring these little meetup groups or these little offline networking events is a great way, again, to get in front of your target market and land some clients. Also, it could be pretty inexpensive to get a booth at a trade show or an industry event. The key here is to pick the very unsexy niches. I mentioned a few just a minute ago, like the auto mechanics or the plumbers or the water filters of America or the candle makers of America, or, you know, these different niches where, you know, if I'm thinking to myself, oh, I want to do social media, I want to work with the coolest and the most hip and the most up-to-date and the most, you know, sexiest of niches, because those are the most fun, and, you know, that's what I want to spend my time doing. But the truth is that no one is marketing to these unsexy niches, because no one wants to, you know, post for ABC plumbing every day, or nobody wants to post for some of these different not fun, not, you know, necessarily social media attractive niches. And so, but because of that, there is a lot of opportunity in those niches. There's a lot of opportunity to land business there, and because no one is marketing to them. Okay, so if you're going to do something like that, you want to make sure that you're not marketing to a market that's already saturated, because it's gonna cost more, and you'll have a more difficult time landing clients. I can think of like tow trucks and locksmith associations and hardware stores, and, you know, all of these types of more, you know, less, I don't know how to say it other than these less sexy niches that you may want to be reaching out to, because, again, no one is marketing to them. And particularly, you want to think about if you do have a specialty in one of these areas, or background, or some experience, or something like that, and in one of those industries or niches, then it's a great opportunity for you to jump in where there isn't a lot of competition, become the established authority very quickly, and land some clients and build a very profitable business around that. Now, one step further even than sponsoring is along the same lines as speaking at these events. I recommend that you speak at any event that you possibly can, especially when you're first getting started, even if you're speaking for free. And the exchange there is that you have the ability to collect contact information from the attendees that are interested. So oftentimes I will speak for free, and then at the end I will say, come talk to me if you're interested in hearing more about what we can do for your business. Or I might do a giveaway, a book where I can collect cards and put them in a hat, and I'll draw a business card that will win the book. But then I've also collected those business cards, and so then I can reach out and follow up with the people who've entered the drawing on those, those business cards that I have. I could give away also free services or a gift card. It doesn't necessarily have to be a book. You could do a giveaway for anything. I really do like to give away free services, like a free Facebook page to everybody that enters, because then I know that everybody that enters is interested in a Facebook page. They're interested in getting one for free. One person wins one, and then I can follow up and maybe give a coupon code or a discount to everyone else that attended that didn't win, kind of as a consolation prize. But again, it brings them into the fold, and it gets them into my funnel by buying something, and I know that they're interested in it, whereas maybe a gift card to a restaurant or a book or something like that may not necessarily mean that they're interested in services, right? So the giveaway, the more the giveaway can be tied to what it is that you sell, the more targeted those entries are going to be. You can do this online, or you can do it with business cards, or you can do it with a form. And sometimes different networking groups will allow you to have a little form that maybe is even like a little survey. How did I do? What did you learn? Check 1 through 5. And are you interested in talking to me more about how I can help your business? Yes or no, and their contact information. So sometimes you can pre-print those and bring them to the event. Sometimes I bring like a cheat sheet, slides of the slides, or with some notes about my talk, and the second page has that little survey. So I'm giving them something of value, and also attaching to it kind of the survey and the interest form as well. And again, I speak both at peer conferences and prospect events. And the reason that you want to speak at peer conferences is because, again, that is the thing that begins to position you as an expert. When you speak amongst your peers and to your peers, you begin to become known as the go-to expert and someone that people will refer to and associate with, and that will help to grow your online brand. Again, moving on from, just attending the events to sponsoring the events to speaking at the events, the ultimate is if you host your own event. And this is the best way to place yourself at the center of attention. Hosting your own event positions you as the authority for all the speakers that you bring in, and as an authority to all the people who do attend your event. It doesn't necessarily have to be educational, where you have a speaker. You could also just do a fun networking event. There's a group here in Austin that's called Bash, Big Ass Social Happy Hour. And it's just a fun networking event. But Ben and Lonnie that host that event have become, positioned as sort of the center of the online networking, the social media community, because they host that event. So it puts them in a great position for getting new business and just being known kind of as the go-to people in Austin for social media marketing. You could also do workshop style or bar camp style events, where maybe on like a Saturday or a Thursday you host like a 9 to 12 event once a month or once a week. I used to have a friend who did WordPress training and blogging training, and she hosted a get-together once a week on Wednesdays at a local meetup where people just got together and blogged, because, how often is it that you let your blog go a week without posting anything? And so this was a great way to help support people in getting a blog post written every week. It was also a great way for them to network and meet other people. It was also a great way for her to offer some free help and advice, and I'm sure many of those people turned into clients later on down the road. So you want to piggyback off of existing meetups, maybe like Social Media Club. So if there's not a social media club, or there isn't an event happening in your area, but there's a successful event that maybe happens in a nearby area or in other areas around the country, you may want to reach out to the organizers of that event and see if you can license, or if you can kind of piggyback off and start to host that event in your area, or create something entirely new. That's complete up to you. And we've talked a little bit about online events as well, like Twitter chats, telesummits, and webinars. You could host regular, recurring, either weekly or monthly chats, or telesummits or webinars. Those are online events, but again, they have the same benefits about positioning you as an expert, allowing people to network and learn for free, and hopefully eventually bringing you some new clients. Here's the bottom line, you guys. Out of all those ideas, whatever you do, do it well, okay? Don't do the same thing as everybody else. You want to do something where you stand out from the crowd. And I know you hear that a lot, but you really do want to think about what's unique, right? Go back to that. I keep referencing it in all the different modules, but that's why it's most important. Go back to the unique selling proposition. So what is your unique selling proposition? What is it that you do that no one else does? Why should someone do business with you rather than your competitors? And that needs to translate through each of these different ways that you're going about trying to, quote, land clients. Now, we've talked about this in some of the other modules, but just to reiterate, some of the different types of clients that you might be looking for are, you have online-only clients. These are clients that only do business online. Some of them are speakers, authors, coaches, entrepreneurs, internet information marketers, affiliate marketers, different types of people who do business mostly online. You have e-commerce retailers, obviously some big e-commerce retailer. The big e-commerce retailer that comes to mind is Amazon.com. But there are plenty of smaller e-commerce retailers, and getting the word out through social media marketing is a great way for e-commerce retailers to drive traffic to their website and get sales to their e-commerce store. Some people like to focus on local clients only. These are clients that only are looking for customers within like a 10-mile radius of their brick and mortar location. And so you may choose to specialize in your city or your town or your county or your area and look for these local clients like dry cleaners, chiropractors, restaurants. There's lots of different types of local clients. These are that they have a physical location that people can walk into and do business. There's people who focus in the entertainment industry. Do you like movies and music and comedians and actors, actresses, singers? There's a whole industry out there of independent artists and even up-and-coming artists and even established ones that need help with social media. And so if this is something that interests you, then you may want to focus in the entertainment industry. And there are plenty more. One thing that I want to let people know is people always ask me, well, is it too late to be a social media manager? Or is there still opportunities to get clients? And the thing is that there are thousands and thousands of opportunities out there, and there's enough work for everyone. So you don't want to have a scarcity mindset that there aren't enough clients out there for everybody who wants to become a social media manager. Some tips for you in finding those clients are, we've talked about this, about making your blog your main hub. Use all the channels that are available to you. Be on the lookout for people who are posting questions or that need help, and figure out how you can help them. I've explained to you several different ways, especially through the networking and the meetup groups, where you can help people. So just be on the lookout for how you can help. That is the best way to land clients, when you can reach out and help someone for free. Other people see that you reached out and helped, and sometimes that client that you helped for free turns into a full-time or a full-paying client, and sometimes they refer you to a client, or sometimes somebody who just heard about that you helped them, or that they saw your tweet where you answered their question or something. would be an indication that, you know, you're a generous person and you're out there and you're willing to help and you're trustworthy and you give good advice and it will bring clients. But leverage your, whatever you do, leverage your community offline and off. So this goes back to your personal network and your social connections. Who do you know and who do they know and who knows you? When you're not working on your client business, be growing your own business and become known as an expert. You want to look at things like writing books, hosting a podcast, doing YouTube videos, doing online trainings like this one, keeping your blog up to date, doing an email newsletter, and responding to those HARO and those reporter connection inquiries so that you get some media attention. These are all ways for you to become known as an expert, and the more well-known you become as an expert, the less work you have to do in order to go out and get clients, and the easier it is for clients just to know about you, have heard about you, and for clients to come to you. This is my favorite part about my business now, is that this is how it is. I don't have to go out and drum up business. Clients come to me through referral or through them having heard about me from a telesummit or a webinar I may have been on, or from reading my blog, or from being on one of my trainings. Who knows, all the different ways. The bottom line is that every interaction that you have, both online and off, may lead to a client tomorrow, may lead to a client next week, next month, or next year. So you want to always be branding. You want to always be an example of the work that you do, both online and off. That way, any interaction always leaves with a great first impression. Now, make sure that you're following up, because this is something that I see that social media managers fail at. They do not do the steps that they know to do. People are busy. It doesn't necessarily mean just because someone didn't reply after they said that they were interested that they're no longer interested. People are busy. They have busy lives. They're busy at their businesses. They're juggling a lot of things. And so following up is an essential task for you as an entrepreneur and as a small business owner in landing clients. So you want to follow the proper channels of email and phone follow-ups, and you want to do those in a timely fashion. Within 24 hours to send an email, and maybe within 24 to 48 hours after that, following up with a phone call shows initiative on your part and shows that you're interested in actually working with that client and that you are someone who runs their business efficiently. Make sure when you follow up that you ask lots of questions and that you do lots of listening. That will help you create the proper plan for them, and it also lets them know that you are more interested in helping their business than you are just in getting their business, right? So make sure that there's a difference between, do you want to actually help them grow their business, or are you only interested in growing your business, all right? Follow them in their social media channels and add them to relevant lists that you can monitor more closely than your general stream, okay? This is so that when you're engaging with them, you can retweet them, you can respond and talk to them, and let them know that you stay top of mind. Let them know that you're thinking about them and that you stay top of mind with them as well. You know, pay it forward by helping them get their message out before they even become a client. Now, one thing to keep in mind, though, is to be friends with them in social media and communicate with them about non-business topics as well as business topics. This shows good faith, and this is a way to keep social and not just be, again, about hounding them and following up and trying to get them to become a client, okay? Do this often enough to stay top of mind. So if you feel like you haven't heard from them in a while, or they haven't responded to an email or a phone call, I might go out to social media and talk about, you know, whatever they had for breakfast, or whatever it is that they're posting about, their favorite sports team, or, you know, whatever it is that they're talking about, so that, again, I stay top of mind without being a pushy salesperson. But do go old school as well. Say it in handwritten notes, send an email, do your phone follow-ups. Social is, you know, the new way to follow up and be social and talk about non-businessy stuff, but your old school techniques also work as well. Now, we talked about the social media sales funnel in the pricing module, which was right before this, but make sure that when you're following up with them that you're figuring out what's the best place for them to enter your funnel. Is there something that you can offer them for free in an audit or an evaluation, or a one-time service like training or consulting, or Facebook fan page creation or some graphics, right? So that lead-in offer, is that a great place for them to start? Or are they ready for some technical setup? Are they ready for some training or consulting? Or are they ready to skip just to the done for you? So when you're talking to them, kind of know where you're going to place them when they do finally come into the funnel, so that you can be leading them in the right direction as you're following up and doing these different conversations with them. But to wrap things up, you guys, here's the bottom line of everything that I've said. Everything from the very first tip I gave you in your personal network all the way down to hosting your own events, to doing your pay-per-click advertising, to doing your launch party. Everything is about visibility, okay? Can I find you everywhere? Is your brand memorable? Do you look professional everywhere you are so that I know that you do good work? What exactly is it that you do, and who do you do that for? Make sure that you've narrowed down that elevator pitch and you have it perfect. Go back again to those branding videos in Module 2 to figure this out. And it is your website and your social profiles on all of your communication, so that when I want to connect with you, I can connect with you easily and I don't have to do a lot of digging. Have fun with your business cards and have fun with other things, maybe like t-shirts and brochures, and really make sure that your brand communication is on point, that you're talking to your target audience about what you do, specifically what you do, and that you have a little bit of fun with it, and that you look very professional while you're doing it, okay? So that wraps up our overview video here in this module, Module 4 on finding and getting clients. These are all the different ways. So what you want to do is, if you've kept that piece of paper with you where you've taken some notes about the ideas that stood out from you, or the names of people or businesses that you interact with that have come to mind throughout the training, now's the time to go back to that, or go back to the beginning of the training and watch it through again and make that list if you haven't done so already. And then go out and make a plan for yourself daily to get to work and begin reaching out to several of those businesses every single day. The key here is going to be consistently reaching out to businesses on a daily basis in order to land them. That discipline is going to get you further than any other creative idea or anything else that I could have taught you in this training. Take what I've taught you in the training and implement it consistently on a regular daily basis in order to find success in getting clients.